when I hadn't even seen Star Wars when I was little and Justin was a fan of it, he had like Star Wars action figures and like Star Wars cards. And when he used to be mean to me, I would take his figures and his card and throw them out on the lawn so they'd get mowed.
I know you'll know where we were when. I know you'll know where we were when.
Hello, and welcome to Where We Were When, a podcast where we look back at the most memorable movie-going experiences of our youth and eat candy. I'm your host, Heidi Gardner, and I'm joined as always by my brother, Justin Gardner. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Heidi. I love your t-shirt.
I knew you would.
I'm a big fan of your t-shirt. We got to get a win this weekend.
We got to get a win. Justin and I, as you know, loyal fans out there, we're from Kansas City, lifelong Chiefs fans. Last week was a heartbreaker for us. We lost by 1 point.
We did lose by 1 point, but I have to say, if it was going to be to anybody, Lamar Jackson, he's just such a gamer, and I love to see him win. I want him to win a Super Bowl. I want him to win a Super Bowl because he's just he's just phenomenal. He is absolutely somebody that I want to see succeed.
I agree. Me too. I had even texted Ego that day. She's from Baltimore. And I said, and she's not a huge sports fan, but she's getting more into sports because, we're great friends and she has some other good friends into sports. So she's starting to get into sports. And I said, I root for Lamar every week when it's not against the Chiefs. I was like,
absolutely,
because he's the best. But I think last week I might have rooted for him in my heart a little too hard. And that was the extra point that they won by.
That was just the reaching out and tapping the ball, because it really didn't look like, it wasn't a punch. It wasn't a punch. It was just like the guy like literally just touched the ball and it fell out. It felt, you know what? It felt predestined a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like they just kept coming back. This is a movie podcast, folks. Yeah. I know that you aren't here for us prattling along about the Kansas City Chiefs, but hey, guess what? That's what's going on right now. So
we did it.
We can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. We did it for 2 minutes, and we appreciate those of you who stuck with us those 2 minutes.
We love you.
We love you. We love our guest tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Is a Where We Were When. He can be another Mamos kid, a Where We Were When. He's part of the family.
100% Mamos kid. 100% Mamos kid. I would like, if I could, I know you usually intro people, but John is my man.
Have it.
And I just have to I have to give him like a big intro because when you got on the show, I wanted to, get more into the show too. I've always watched the show, but it was just one of those in the show. We're talking about SNL. I just wanted to really understand how the fan base, was. And so I started looking online. I kind of got back into Twitter. There's a really big SNL fan base. And I found this podcast, SNL Afterparty. And I just ate it up. And, obviously you had a fantastic first season. And, you always listen to the podcast and hear them talking about you, and it was just, it was just one of those things that was just really, really fun to hear, what sketches they loved, the bits that they thought. SNL podcast always stays really positive too. I love all the SNL podcasts, by the way, but this one to me just is really, really OG. And then on top of that, John helped me kind of survive my first standby line when I stood in line in the cold for the Eddie Murphy show. This was it was a you have to, I don't know if people know this, but you have to stand in line for, the better part of 16, 17 hours until the next day. Like overnight, you have to basically camp out
And I
outside
need
overnight.
people to know that this was a show that I could not, his Justin's sister could not get tickets to or a dress rehearsal,
Well, yeah.
or I would not have made
No.
him.
Well,
yeah.
The reality here is that, and I know I'm going on a little bit long here, but the reality here is that I hadn't ever really like stood out for tickets like that. So I decided that this would be the show because I really actually wanted to get into like I wanted to sit in the seats, right? And usually when I come to the show, I come backstage, I hang out, but I wanted to see the dress rehearsal because it was Eddie Murphy, and there's 30 more minutes of material, right? And this guy, Mr. John Murray, brought chairs, got to the head of the line early, made sure that like I had a place, and is just the biggest sweetheart. And then when I came to him and said, "Hey, Heidi and I want to do a podcast," he's like, "I'm in." So John, welcome to the cast. Welcome to Where We Were When. You're here anyway because you are a producer.
I can honestly say that I've seen every episode of this podcast you guys have been putting
That's
on.
right. That's right. Before it's aired.
Yeah, those are some good memories. It wasn't it was an effortless thing to
good.
be able to like bring you into the standby line and just connect and just have this ardent Heidi, like Heidi, you understand that Justin is your biggest fan, that he's got your back, and that he's working all the angles for you all the time. It's been a joy.
All the angles.
All the angles.
Just like I work all the angles in this show.
Yeah. So it's been fun now for upwards of 4 years now. Being able to just have access to him and his passion and the fun times we've had in New York. Like this is we have history now, and I have nothing but respect for him and what he does to give you all the support in the world. And I don't know. I'm a fan of the Gardners. I have been since 2018 because, as you guys are well aware,
2018.
You did a solid.
What happened
for
in
me
2018?
as well.
Yeah. What happened in 2018?
Well, I had a fantastic experience, completely out of the kindness and generosity of your Midwestern hearts, and it will never be forgotten. And that's why when you say you want to do a podcast, if there's anything that I can be doing to help ramp you up and get you out there, of course, I feel like I'm indebted to you guys forever. It's been a fun ride so far, and but it's true. It's true. Like that's not a small thing.
I love that, but we will never take advantage of it.
Sure.
Well, much, maybe a little bit,
a little bit,
but
that's okay.
But 2018, you're losing the lead though. Like you came to the show, and then it was the season finale, and you came to like the season finale party, which is the only one I've been able to attend.
It's the only one I've been to in 2 years. Well, I went to the first season, and then I went to the second, and then we did at home, and then last year we didn't have one. So that was the last after party,
that was it.
You guys.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, the first show that I went to was like early 2018, and then 2018, like that season was the only finale that has really been a thing. So
yeah.
Every year I try to go and do the standby line for the finale because that's a big show and that's just always worth getting there for. So I've seen the tents go up and all the pageantry on the ice rink. I'm the guy, on the outside looking in, wondering what you guys are all doing down there. And I've seen that. I saw it for 2 years, and then I walk in, and you'll never understand how surreal and just it knocks you like right to your core. It still ranks. It's one of the fondest memories I have, and it was an amazing treat. And like I said, I consider myself in your debt, and I'm just glad that we've been able to stay connected and get this little podcast off the ground. And I'm having a ball, and I hope we have lots more memories down the road as COVID, begins to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
coming back. Your wife's coming back. Catherine's coming
Yeah.
for the first time.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So like that's all in the works. But yeah, I just want to like make sure that like how much you mean to us and how amazing it's been, putting the show together and having the level of just like what we have. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. So just want to say thank you.
Been a fun
upfront.
ride.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about tonight?
I think we're
Well-
talking about something you want to talk about. I don't know, Heidi.
Yeah.
Do you know like what's
Well-
going on?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. See, John
Oh.
knows the format. of
I
this
know the
show.
John
format.
knows the format.
yeah.
What we're talking about first, of course, is sweet sugary candy. So did you guys get what I sent you?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, yeah.
Oh my
yes.
God, look.
It just arrived today. I'm amazed
Wait.
that you found a Canada Post mailer. Actually, these are hard to come by in New York. So kudos.
Yeah,
it's
and
the
yeah.
only
you
way to get
guys-
things delivered in Canada.
And I
Wow.
know it was so easy. I just put to John in Canada, and I
They know
hoped,
me.
I wished
Yeah.
on a star, and then
There's
they
only a
really
couple.
Do you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
All
It's
right.
a really
so,
rare name in Canada.
What's that all about?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's in here. It's a fantastic surprise.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's a classic.
All right.
They really package
It's
it
reveal.
well
not
up
the
in Canada.
classic, but it's right after the classic.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It's not the original, but
Holy
it's
moly.
peanut M&Ms, guys. Ooh,
I love that sound because they just feel heavy.
they're
Mhm.
heavy.
It's a
Yes.
substantial package.
They got that nut. It's a substantial candy. It's not, the regular M&Ms kind of shake a, and this
Uh-huh.
feels like it's got some girth
Yeah.
to it. So
Now, right off the bat, can the three of us all agree? I know a lot of M&M offshoots have happened since the original, but can we all agree at least that we all think peanut M&M is better than classic M&M?
Absolutely. I will never reach for the brown bag
Ooh.
if there's peanut M&Ms available.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
This is where they
and that
peaked.
brings up
Oh, okay. Ooh.
that I would say that yes, peanut M&Ms better than regular M&Ms. But you know what goes great with peanut M&Ms?
Okay. Don't do
Popcorn.
Okay.
Popcorn.
Okay.
Um,
I did
Popcorn
not think that you would do
is-
that. I thought you were going to say something else, and I appreciate that you
well,
did
no,
not.
you put well, no. So you've done this before. You put the peanut
Mhm.
M&Ms in the popcorn, right?
Yeah.
You do this at the movie theater. I do it at home, and it's really good. But what did you think I was going to do?
I
What
thought you were going to do another
Not popcorn?
No, I thought you were going to do another Butterfinger Bites stupid thing.
Well, actually, that is a great idea because Butterfinger Bites, it's butter and popcorn. So if you take the Butterfinger Bites and you just kind of crumple them up in that, I mean, it's
Okay.
butter and popcorn. I mean, it
John,
makes total sense. Like
while
that's a great
Justin's-
idea.
While Justin's doing, he can go ahead and do a silent ad for Butterfinger Bites because who knows?
We'll mute all this.
How
This
many,
is we'll blank
how
the
many
screen.
how many free packs he's getting from this. Really cool. But John, okay, you're saying that peanut M&Ms peaked. That's where they peaked.
I'm glad that this is what ended up arriving in the mailer today because this is actually my go-to movie candy. Like when I go to the theater and I
Ooh.
have the choice to buy the combo, this is what I'm grabbing every time. So
Oh, I love that.
I can back up that statement. This is peak M&M right here.
Okay. Justin and I definitely remember a lot us getting peanut M&Ms. We were peanut M&Mers if sometimes when we get a chocolate. And so peanut M&Ms are definitely one of my faves from the M&M family. But I really like peanut butter ones. I really like peanut butter.
But if you're gonna do that, why don't you just go for Reese's? Like that's already a thing.
I think I've maybe said this on the podcast before. I something about Reese's Pieces felt like too refined and rich for me. I don't know. It felt like
it's not peanut butter.
It felt too I don't know. I felt like
Too elite.
even though it was yes, it was like the same price. I don't know. I felt like I couldn't have it.
So you think M&Ms are kind of like the working man's Reese's?
Candy.
Like they're a little bit more, I don't know, less pompous.
The working man's
the working man's
Reese's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get behind that.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I would have a Reese's peanut
working
butter
man's
cup,
Reese's.
but Reese's Pieces just were too, refined for me.
Fair enough.
Wow. Never knew that about you.
I will say something so I think classic M&Ms, I'm not going to turn them down, but yes, they're not a go-to for me.
Mm-hmm.
But my second favorite type of M&Ms are Christmas M&Ms. Something about a classic M&M when it's green and red.
Like,
it just
you know what?
Makes me happy.
I agree. I think that they taste better when they're red and green and white.
I think it's the exclusiveness too, right? Like they only show up on the shelf for a few weeks. So you kind of feel like you gotta get in on that while they last. I can see that.
And have you guys ever like seen the M&M's bar where you can get all the colors?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like $6 a pound. They're like inordinately expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mamo and Bampo always
this is actually great.
The red and green. So that was
everybody's grandparents had them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a Christmas classic. Well, I'm so glad we have your favorite candy, John.
Yeah, no, it worked out very well. Yeah.
That's huge.
No,
it's a good thing I have this popcorn too, because it's a great combo.
That's great. Love it. Choco Popo, basically, which we talked about on the show a couple weeks ago. Now we're going to get to our first Where We Were When pick for the night. This is a big one. We're going to go deep on this one. This is going to be our episode. John, what is your movie of the night?
My Where We Were When is Return of the Jedi, the
Ooh.
culmination of the true Star Wars trilogy, which it came out early 80s, so it's very much in that range where we were all probably fairly young when we saw it, which is like the perfect age to see a Star Wars movie, and it was the first one that I ever saw.
Absolutely.
So I have two very specific, very sharp memories of when I first saw Return of the Jedi, and then when I really saw Return of the Jedi. But it's definitely like the first movie going experience that I can actually track back and remember very vividly where I was and what was going on. So it might be worth breaking down. It's not a small movie.
We would love that. That's what we do on this show. How old were you when you saw it for the first time?
Okay, so I'm guessing I was about 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old. So it came out in 83, spring of 83. I didn't see it in the theater, but it would have been out on VHS shortly after that. And then probably a year or two after that is when I saw it.
Okay.
So this is mid 80s. This is, the era. I'm, I think 2 or 3 years older than you, Heidi, and I think 2 or 3 years younger than Justin. So you guys can probably pretty easily figure out where you guys would have been at if I was about 6. So I remember very vividly. We grew up in the country. We didn't have access to really any media. Like we were really, really cut off that way. We only got like one television channel over the air, and it was not the like suburban access to HBO and all the stuff that you guys talk about. Not my reality when I was 6 or 7.
None of it.
None of it. It was I like going to the city was a big deal. And so I remember my parents packing myself and my sister up, driving us to the big city of Chatham, Ontario, all of 30,000 people. And bringing us to my aunt's house because they had some, I don't know, grown-up stuff they had to take care of. So they left us there to play with our cousins for the day while they were doing their stuff. I had 2 cousins, both girls, both around my sister's age. So when I got there, right from the get-go, it was obvious this was going to be a dismal day. I was kind of like the third wheel. They were doing their girl stuff. And I don't know, like it might not be the case with all girls at 8 or 9, but 3 8 or 9-year-old girls and then like a 6-year-old me. I very quickly was coerced into eating dirt. And it was a rough day. So not having a great.
Gotta love that female energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. My sister. Well, all of them are lovely people today, but back then, not a great time for John. So
Cares.
at some point, we make our way into the house, and they are living the suburban dream. They have the entire basement is a kid's paradise down there. Like, just think pink molded plastic things as far as the eye can see. My Little Pony, Barbie Dream House. Like it was their dad was a bigwig at Sears, so I'm sure that they just got all the things. And they had
probably had the Sears catalog. And they got
And I'm sure he was working the discounts and getting the samples, whatever it was. They had this just mecca, this trove of girl 80s stuff. So we're all down there. They're doing their thing. Like, they're having a ball. It's all great. I'm in the corner somewhere, probably trying to make like a My Little Pony and a Ken doll do something that seemed manly and awesome, but it's not working for me. So at one point, I clearly remember my uncle just popping his head down just to make sure nobody was killing anyone. And he assesses the situation. He didn't really say anything. He goes back upstairs, and about 3 minutes later, he comes down with a VHS tape in his hand. He pops it in the TV and VHS player, the exclusive TV and VHS player that's in the kids' room. Like, they're really living the dream. They had their own AV center.
Good Lord.
So he pops this tape in, and he just walks out. He doesn't say a word. And he pops it in, then the Fox fanfare, and then the trumpet blast of, the cacophony of noise as the Star Wars letters come on screen. And I turn my head, and that's that. So the way I figure it, he comes down, he sees I'm miserable. He sees there's like nothing going on down here for me. He knows I've had like just a long day. He knows his daughters. He knows, how that goes down. And he said, like, I'm going to throw this kid a bone. And he goes down, he puts on Return of the Jedi, and just blew my mind. I pony up to the TV and I sit there, and I'm sure I didn't move. I'm sure that I was just absolutely entranced. So that's the very first, not just like memory of a Star Wars movie, but like, I think maybe any movie other than just what would have come on the one or two TV stations that we had. Like, that's the first, like, just sit down and like absorb something that is speaking to me as a movie. And I ate it up.
Well, and let's remember like how that movie started too. Okay. Because the movie starts with the Leia in disguise coming to Jabba's palace. So the first thing that you see is this 5,000-pound space slug. Right? And she tries to come and she tries to save Han, but gets captured. And then the Leia bikini, the Leia slave bikini, right?
Yeah. Now, remember, I'm 6 at the time.
Han Solo? I know, but still.
I'm sure it made an impression. Still, I'm sure that it helped.
You were like, what is going on? Hello. I don't know what that is, but I like it somewhat. But then like the slave ship, then Boba Fett gets thrown into the Sarlacc pit. That's like within basically what, like the first
20 minutes. Yeah, you're off and running with that movie pretty quick.
Han Solo is already frozen in carbonite. You have no context of anything. There's all this backstory, and all this shit is being thrown at your 6-year-old mind.
That's
and I can imagine Return of the Jedi. It's just like, you're like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
Huh? Who?
Yeah.
So, hey, what is that? What's going on?
Let me rewind it just a little bit, because before they get to Tatooine and the Jabba stuff, the real, like the very first scene after the crawl is Vader's shuttle coming into the new Death Star, and the exit ramp comes down, and the smoke kind of billows out from the shuttle, and then Darth Vader like walks through the smoke into the scene. And that's the first time I'd seen that, and that was so genuinely frightening. to me.
Mhm.
I was already like engrossed and I'm already loving it and just like absorbing it. And then they throw that at you like, what is that all? Because I hadn't seen any of the movies. I had no context, but I knew
Yeah.
that he was a serious baddie. And a 6-year-old, like that's intimidating. I know it's children's fare, but when you see that and you're at the exact right age for it to really like rope you in, it hit hard. And so yeah, like right from the get-go, I'm totally engrossed. I'm not at ease. Like I'm feeling genuinely frightened about what I'm seeing on the screen. And then yeah, they go to Tatooine and it's like a whole nother, well, it's a whole nother world. And they're just off and running, like you said, Justin. It just doesn't stop. And for a 6-year-old, there's no better ride to go on, especially after on that kind of a day. There's just nothing better that my uncle could have done for me at that point.
I mean, personally,
right.
I think, given what I've talked about before on the show about seeing movies out of order, just depending on what age you were when they came into your
Right.
life, like out of the first 3 that actually came out, like I think you saw the one that was right for the 6-year-old.
Yes.
And why I really think that is in my heart of hearts, it's because it's got the cutest thing about the Star Wars movies, which is an Ewok, which I'm just gonna have my little cat represent an Ewok right now. um, but yeah, I missed seeing like all the Star Wars movies as a kid. I've said before that I saw Spaceballs before I saw any Star Wars
Mhm.
movies, so I thought Spaceballs ripped or Star Wars ripped Spaceballs.
Right.
But I definitely knew what Ewoks were when I was little. I
Mhm.
mean, there was like the Ewoks cartoon, and they were also just unavoidable. They were so cute.
Right.
I ended up seeing when they re-released all the first 3 when I was in 7th grade. I ended up seeing them all. And Return of the Jedi is still my favorite because I mean, even when they re-released them, I was like 12 and I still gravitated towards just like, yeah, the Ewoks, the Jabba of it. It just felt the most fun for a
Mhm.
kid's brain, I think.
It's
For
definitely
sure.
the one that kind of knew what it wanted to be. And in the context of like mid 80s movies, it knew that it wanted to be a fun adventure for kids. The other ones like are a little heavier on thematic stuff. Like the first one's trying to be
Yes.
a bit of a fairy tale too, but the second one tries to be a little more serious. This one is just totally, you can tell they know exactly who they're marketing to, or else the Ewoks wouldn't exist. And for my money, because it's the first one that I saw, it kind of defines what a Star Wars movie should be. Even though I love the other ones, this is the one that to me feels the most Star Warsy and just the most right when I watch it.
Is it your
Yeah,
favorite since you saw it first, do you think?
Well, grown up John will say Empire because I think
Yeah.
it's truly the stronger like cinematic experience. But I have
Mhm.
a very warm place in my heart, like because like Jedi just transports me back to being 6, and none of the other Star
Yeah.
Wars movies quite do that. So it's a special movie for me, and it always serves that purpose that none of the other ones can quite fill.
Plus you were
yeah.
saved that day from like uh
Yes,
from ponies and Barbies and you were
right.
saved.
They say you're very susceptible when it like post-traumatic stress like you kind of you can learn to love your captors or whatever it is, like there's something, you're very vulnerable as a person when you've had a bad day, and I think it just washed over me in all the right ways. And that's my first experience of seeing Return of the Jedi. But I have a second one
Can
because
we talk?
oh yeah,
Can we talk? Yeah, can we talk about? Sorry to cut in,
yeah,
but can we talk about? Because I don't want to get past these the Ewoks.
sure.
I don't want to get past the Ewoks because I do feel like they both were adorable, but they fucked up Star Wars for for a
Sure.
long time. And
You're
if people
repping
don't
them.
know,
You're repping an actual
Mhm.
Ewok. But
I love
I
it.
know.
I
I love
love
it
that.
too. Yeah.
And and I just I want to give a shout out to whoever that artist is. I don't know who it is, but I bought it at the I bought it. You'll know who it is if you because you painted it. This was at the benefit in LA about 7 years ago. Geez, was it been that long? About 7 years ago at the Robot Chicken art show
Yeah.
that they do. And
Yeah.
that was up. And I made a beeline for that And it was, and there was somebody who was like right by me,
Yeah.
who wanted to buy it.
Did it
So I
come
just, like,
framed?
got it.
Did it come like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Came framed.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. No, I literally went in and I went there and I saw it and I was like, holy shit, I gotta go directly up front. Walk directly up front. And there was literally somebody who saw me say, I would like the whatever it was. And he was like, fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, I wanted that. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take it.
Can't help you.
I
Sorry.
usually would, but yeah, I usually would be like, go ahead,
No.
But that one was just
Sorry,
too
sorry.
good.
Yeah.
It's like it's my Banksy. That's really, it kind of looks like a Banksy.
Uh-huh.
So I really like that. But the Ewoks, because the Ewoks now here's the lore here is that the Ewoks, those were supposed to be Chewbacca's Wookiees.
Mm-hmm.
So that was supposed to be a Wookiee planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they didn't do it because they had enough money. But going in that cutesy direction, I really do think like warped George Lucas's mind in some ways, because what came after, obviously was like, it was merch. I mean, obviously Ewoks were huge, Ewoks cartoons, dolls. I mean, like that was like probably, it has to be the best selling thing out of the Star Wars, all Star Wars. I bet it's all Star Wars. The Ewoks sold the most, made the most secondary stuff. And that was really George Lucas's genius, because, he made this deal with Fox and Mattel and all these other places that, he would retain all the rights to that and he would get like 50% of the cut or something crazy like that. So he just made insane amounts of money.
Yeah, I think he owned the
really do
merchandising
feel like
outright.
the Ewoks outright, right?
Mm.
But I really do feel like the Ewoks kind of destroyed Star Wars for a little bit, and it never has gotten back to that glory of like the first trilogy.
Yeah, see, like at the time I was too young to know it, so I didn't know until I was like, maybe 17 or 18, that everyone didn't love the Ewoks. It wasn't until I like started hanging out with more jaded people that told me about, their experience of seeing the Ewoks and how there was this fan outcry, and that's really where that started. It never stopped with George Lucas, right? Like he's never not taken a lot of heat since Jedi. I think it's just because Empire set the bar so high. And so when this was more juvenile and the fans that were coming to it are now older because they've been watching these movies for 4 years now, and they're expecting for 6 years now, and they're expecting more from their Star Wars. They think that it's going to be this, this Empire topper. And it's pretty obvious that Lucas was kind of just setting up a lot of merchandising. Since there isn't going to be more movies for a while, he wanted to make sure that, the cash kept rolling. And he did make some creative decisions.
Cash cow.
Yeah. That obviously people were kind of, there was it didn't quite pass the sniff test as far as like, where do your passions really lie? You trying to make the best movie, or you trying to make the best merchandise? And I think that's a fair criticism.
Can you also imagine like seeing Empire as the first Star Wars movie? All the dynamics that are going on there, all how dark that is, because like Return of the, I believe that Empire was my first, but I was just too young.
Yeah.
I didn't see Star Wars. But I know that I saw Empire. That was my first one because like you said, like I'm older than you.
Right.
And I was 7 when Return of the Jedi came out. So I distinctly remember that being the second one that I saw. Cause I had the previous. I remember Cloud City.
Right.
That's it, like, just burned into my mind. And then Han being frozen in the carbonite. Like I remember that from way, way back. But yeah, like that is, when we're that young too, there's nobody really to talk to about movies. They just live inside of us.
Right. Yeah. And you're not a critic either. Like you're just taking them for what they are.
No. No, and it's beautiful that way, right? Because there's nobody to question your love for things, right? There's no cynicism, right? To something like that.
Every movie that you see is your favorite movie, like each one, because it's so special.
Yeah,
that you see a movie, and then there's one day, and the day for me was when I saw the movie Biodome, and I realized, oh, there's such thing as bad movies.
Yes,
but
the wonder of youth just vanishes. You get jaded there.
But before that, every movie is perfect.
Right. And every movie that you see is a totally new experience. Yeah. And it's all magic for a few years there until it slowly, starts to get beaten out of you by terrible movies. But
Yeah. Lucas insisted, and I think that I'm not questioning him, but he insisted when the prequels came out, right?
Mhm.
Which were just abysmal. I mean, I'm sorry. And I know people that are way younger than me,
Mhm.
and we've talked about Star Wars, and they really like the prequels.
Right, because they're not looking at it
And I
critically.
think
They're
it has
having
to
that,
do with
that
this
youthful
thing.
experience.
Yeah. It's that youthful memory, right? And somebody like Jar Jar Binks like reads like, like a Chewbacca or something,
Right.
which like, and there's just no way that you can have that same experience, that childlike experience when you're in college, right?
Right.
And you're just like, what the fuck is this
Wait a
Jar
minute.
Jar
Are these
Binks
children's movies? I thought that this was important. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and the Gungans with the all of that stuff.
Right.
It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Mhm.
But then Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like Return of the, not Revenge of the Jedi, not Revenge of
We're
the
gonna
Jedi.
soften it up. We're going to take off all the rough edges.
Soften it up.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So it's both a harbinger of things to come, and sort of like where a lot of people felt like it sort of went off the rails.
Right.
But as children, we're just like, whoa, and oh yeah, I want an Ewok. Like you wanted an Ewok
Yeah.
naturally as a pet, just
Mhm.
like you wanted like a Mogwai,
Mhm.
back in the day. You're
Yes.
like, I want these things to exist. Why can't these things exist?
No, why can't they exist?
Still.
I would take Gizmo
I mean, yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
So
nobody
I would
nobody
even
told
take
me
a
that.
gremlin in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody told me that I shouldn't embrace Wicket, like that shouldn't, that there's anything
Yeah.
that might not be satisfying about watching teddy bears attack robot monsters. It doesn't occur to you, and it isn't. I think you make the perfect point, Justin, that it all just depends on the age you're coming into it, and the prequels can be just as magical. I don't think quite, like I think it's still, you need to have a good movie to stand on, but there's I know a lot of people, and they swear by them because it's the same thing. You watch it and nobody tells you that you're not supposed to be satisfied with what you're seeing, and then it's entertaining for you. And fortunately,
And
I
you
was
had
the
a
right
singular
age.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had a singular experience. TV, VHS, uninterrupted.
Yep.
Right? The girl, and it was kind of like, and I don't want to like, play really genders against each other, but I have to imagine that like once Return of the Jedi went in, the girls probably left you alone, and we're just doing their girl thing.
Honestly, there was nothing else that existed in that room after the movie started, so I couldn't weigh in. But you're probably right. Like,
Okay.
like my sister casually enjoys Star Wars, but it's
Mhm.
not the same. Like there are some things that are just kind of made to like connect with a little boy, and I think Star Wars
Mhm.
is one of those things. And I think even though she enjoys it, I don't think it speaks to her the same way that it would, or for most girls, I don't.
Just kind of put a little force field around little John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
that, just like this. They're like, oh, we can't fuck with that. Like he's enjoying that.
Yeah.
They probably, we made him eat dirt.
Sure.
We painted his nails. Right. He had tea time with us.
Yeah.
Let him enjoy Return of the Jedi.
I'd like to think they were that generous or that
Considerate?
clear-headed,
No
to
way.
offer me that. I think
that was the thought process.
I would love to think that they had those kind of
course not.
noble
No way.
intentions, but I think realistically they probably just went and got back to the pink molded plastic.
Right,
That's
yeah.
so
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
Yeah, when I hadn't even seen Star Wars when I was little, and Justin was a fan of it, he had like Star Wars action figures and like Star Wars cards. And when he used to be mean to me, I would take his figures and his card and throw them out on the lawn so they'd get mowed.
Ooh, that's vicious. That's
Mm-hmm.
Yes, everybody thinks Heidi is nice.
no, there's
but
a dark
they're
side.
finding
there.
out.
Yeah, we get to see all the
slowly
outtakes,
but surely
if people
through
understood
this. Oh my
how
gosh,
much we need to edit these things
she
down
would
to
be
make her
fired.
look. Yes.
Yeah. She would be canceled in a heartbeat if those outtakes got out. Thankfully, they won't.
I'm sitting on them. I'll use them for
But,
leverage at some point, but they're not getting out.
John, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I let's talk about the merch. Let's talk about the merch.
Sure.
Because there really wasn't anything else that I wanted besides Star Wars and G.I. Joes. That was it. In the 80s for little boys, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, you wanted Jabba's like skiff, you know, you wanted Jabba's palace. For you want, and the Ewoks, of course, like you wanted all the Ewoks, you wanted Wicket, you wanted all the other weird ones, you know, that didn't really have names, right? The tall one, remember the tall Ewok with the really, you know, the headdress?
Yeah,
right?
the gray one.
Like,
he had like a
instead of 3 feet.
Yeah.
He's like 4'2" instead of 3'5". 1.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then come to find out, I mean, it was such a good time for toys.
Oh, yeah.
The thing,
like the 80s were such a good time for toys.
Yeah. The thing with the Star Wars toy line is it was probably one of the last eras where it was understood that kids spend the majority of their childhood like playing in a pile of dirt. Like you kick your kid out of the house, they go to the sand, they go wherever they're going to go, and they got to use their imagination or just go do something with their day. And I think when you have a toy line like Star Wars, where there's literally hundreds of toys, it's understood, like you can build a world with it. Like you've got infinite characters. It's just so easy to take that and just sort of live in that world with those action figures. And it's not something that I think kids embrace as much today. I just don't think they understand that that's what excuse me.
It's okay. Yeah.
I don't think they understand that that's what the toys are for.
You're choking up. It's an emotional time.
Yeah. It's a peanut M&M. Turns out I have a wicked peanut allergy that I never realized.
No.
Those
we killed our producer.
Wait. Don't you eat these?
Oh, I do, and I love it. It's a little bit
all of a sudden,
that little bit of skin on a peanut, the thin little bit.
Yes.
That I've got a little bit of that tickling, and unfortunately, it's gonna not make for great radio.
Damn peanut skin. That dumb peanut skin. Yeah. Well, you know what makes for great radio is that background.
Oh,
I know.
Can we talk about it?
I was gonna ask about it.
So,
because I have a feeling that it's related.
Me too.
Well, I drew all these today because I wanted to decorate my space. So I want people to take a moment and appreciate my artistic abilities.
Absolutely.
But in all seriousness, I live in a trailer now, in the middle of a forest, like a homeless person. So I don't have any of my tchotchkes or anything to build like a space with to record a podcast.
Yeah.
So,
well, you don't have to apologize for that.
No, I'm not apologizing because I think this looks great. I enlisted the talents of my three beautiful children to create the best Star Wars backdrop we could come up with this afternoon. And I think they knocked it out of the park personally. I
think so too.
They knocked it hard out of the park. I want definitely at the end of this, we need to get a picture of John with his kids' drawings. We need a picture of just the background. Like these are frameable, every single one. I mean, I'm looking at C3PO. No, wait, C3PO's the like white robot, right?
R2D2
or is that R2D2? R2D2. Okay. R2D2 is so cute. What? I always get them mixed up.
How can you get them mixed up? C3PO and R2D2?
Because
oh my God.
And I've said it before on this podcast, it messes me up. The whole Spaceballs thing messes me up because I think of Joan Rivers as C3PO. And so then I have to do all.
You're right.
Well, yeah.
That's a good 1-to-1.
But I have to do all this like backwards math. Then when I see, okay, no, this is how my mind works because I see C3 or no, R2D2. I see R2D2, and I'm like, no, he's the more complicated one. Something in my mind, he looks more complicated than me. So then I think he's C3PO because that's a more complicated name. And then I'm like, is C3PO the gold one? The Joan Rivers? It's too hard for me.
Well, okay.
That's
I hope
why,
we break you of it. You're too good at trivia. You're too good at trivia to not know something that basic.
But
though.
Star Wars,
I've seen you work.
Star Wars is my Achilles heel. It like passed me by when I was little. I caught up later when they
True.
re-released it, like I said, like 7th,
Mhm.
8th grade, but I still feel like I was a little too young because obviously I liked Return to of the Jedi the best. And
Mhm.
then everything since has just been a swirl. Like Zeb really wants me to watch Empire Strikes Back again, which means I have to just watch the first 3 again and see
Yeah.
how I really feel.
Start at the start.
Yes.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, start at the start.
Because I'm
And
still all
I'm
for Ewoks. That's the only thing
It
I really
works.
remember.
It works. It actually works. I think that the Ewoks were a nice palate cleanser from the seriousness of Empire,
Mhm.
you know? And they still killed people. I mean, that was the thing.
Those
It's
are
like,
murder
the
bears, yeah.
Ewoks were still killers.
Oh.
Yeah, those are murder bears, exactly.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, they had stormtrooper
Oh yeah, remember?
skulls that they're playing.
They were
as
driving
instruments.
stormtroopers into.
Oh, I can't wait
Yeah,
to
they were.
rewatch it.
Don't.
I already know.
Yeah.
I already know I'm gonna still like Return of the Jedi best just from what you guys
Yeah,
just
no,
said.
you should.
I know I will.
No, you should.
It's a lot of fun.
Return of the Jedi is the third best Star Wars film.
Okay.
I mean, I just it's like
I'd agree with that.
I mean, like still like it's like for me it's Empire, it's Star Wars, and then it's Return of the Jedi.
Mhm.
And then the prequels don't exist.
Mhm.
And then it is number 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, I mean,
9.
like that's
That also doesn't exist. Not
yeah,
my
I mean, it
world.
really isn't. It's like I guess 3, 4, 5. I guess like the Star Wars is 3, 4, 5.
Mhm.
So like 1, 2, 3, just kind of like ugh. No. I tried to watch them again. You just fucking can't. I
Mm-mm.
mean, like you just cannot watch them again. But the Star Wars trilogy, they're however, there is a fascinating series of documentaries about the making of all of these
Mhm.
movies, and they were put together by all of like the special features and all of the additions.
Yep.
So you know how Star Wars has just been released again and again and again and again. VHS, Laserdisc, da da da, this and that, right? It's just there's been so many of it. Well, there's always these special features. You can search online for uh there are 3 different documentaries, but they're all like 3 hours long.
Empire of Dreams,
So
I
it's
think,
like
is the
9.
latest one that kind of merges all of them together.
Okay, well, Empire of Dreams, yeah, would be like the entire thing. But the individual ones, if you
Mhm.
I did this one day.
Okay.
I just found the first one, which was about Star Wars,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Jesus, is this thing 3 hours long?" I was like, "Okay, well, why not?" I just didn't have anything to do that day. And the next, I watched it and it's just fascinating, and the
Mhm.
next one comes up and it's like, "Oh my gosh," right? Like, "Yeah, okay, I'll watch that." And I was like, it was literally, and then just got dark and I was still watching the Return of the Jedi one,
Wow.
and
It's fascinating history.
it's fascinating history, and it's crazy how much at the time that Star Wars, like the first cut of Star Wars was just a failure, and it just apparently did not work.
No.
And Lucas's wife came in and did a re-edit and kind of saved
Mhm.
the movie,
Yep.
so that it would make sense. And yeah, but like just the history of it is really, really cool. I just recommend that to anybody, but especially Heidi, like if you want to like dig in and
Yeah.
like learn more about it, if you just have some time,
Okay.
that's like an education in half a day.
Okay.
You'll have a ton of information about Star Wars, and I don't think you'll ever get C-3PO and R2-D2 mixed up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, John, you said that you had 2 Return of the Jedi experiences. I'm eager to
Yes.
hear what the second one was.
So I'm not exactly sure how the decision got made, but I'm assuming that after I watched Return of the Jedi at my cousin's house, that I probably talked about it maybe nonstop for a year. Like I'm just assuming that
I
that was probably
bet.
the only thing that was worth
For
talking about.
sure.
So at a certain point, my parents clued in that I really enjoyed that movie I saw at my cousin's house. So sometime around, I'm going to say 1989, we upgraded from an old TV that was made, I'm sure, in about 1968, that had the little dials, the UHF and VHF dials. Like it was an old, maybe 17-inch, like just a wood pit, like it was an old timey TV. And it was so old that it didn't have the right connections on the back to be able to hook a VCR up to. So for the first 10 years of my life, there was no such thing as renting movies. But at a certain point, we got one of those like wood cabinet TVs. You remember TVs used to like sit on the floor and they were a piece of furniture, ornate wood and like little brass handles and stuff.
Yeah.
We got one of those it sits in your den with the wood paneled walls. And it's just like, that's how you do it up, 89 style. So we got one of these TVs, and finally it had a coax connector, 20 years too late. And so my parents, every couple weeks or so, would take us into the bustling metropolis of Blenheim, Ontario, population 3,000. And there was a 7-Eleven. Do you guys have 7-Elevens in the States?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
They're worldwide.
Yeah. So there was a 7-Eleven, and they had a little movie section. And at the time, because so few people had VCRs, they would rent you'd get a VCR in a molded plastic case that you could toss down the stairs and it would not break the VCR. So if you reserved far enough ahead and you like knew how to play the game and get one of like the 2 VCRs that 7-Eleven had, you could bring it home and do a movie night. So
this is a huge discovery. Like that 7-Eleven had VCRs. This is amazing. In Canada in the 80s.
Well, I'm sure like in the places, in the bigger cities where there were Blockbusters, I'm sure it wasn't as big a thing. But in that little community, that variety store was basically the town square. Like that was, where else are you going to go to get a movie? You're never going to have a movie place in Blenheim, Ontario. So at the time, the 7-Eleven was the place. And my parents, after we got the TV, like, you got to celebrate, you got to do something with this TV because we still don't get any stations. It's not like we have an antenna that's going to get the Detroit stations or anything. So we have a static box there until my parents go and get this huge molded plastic monstrosity, set it on top. And the first movies that they ever rented for us were Return of the Jedi and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Those were my first two home VHS experiences in around 1989. And being able to I watched Abbott and Costello once, and then Return of the Jedi on a loop for the 48 hours that we had that tape. And it was nice to be able to go back to that world. And that was like my second, it held up, it never, I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to put it down. I didn't want to do anything. Just let me rewind that tape and do that again as many times as I can before you take this magic box away from me.
Oh my gosh. My favorite part of that story is that you see Return of the Jedi at your cousin's house, and then you go back to your parents, and that you said you probably talked about it non-stop for a year. And I'm positive you did. And then just imagining little John, like, then knowing that he's about to see that special thing again. Like, of course you watched it nonstop for 48 hours. Like, the coolest thing you'd ever seen. Like,
and my parents played up, like, they kept it all a secret. They didn't tell us what tapes they were bringing. Like, they really knew this moment was going to hit, and they reveled in it. They reveled in it, and it did hit. It was a big hit. Yeah,
sweet parents. I love that.
I
love that. And
love those stories.
We forgot to mention up top that John is our first international guest. This is a Canadian man, born and bred. So that
I'm transmitting right now over the internet from Canada.
From the barren wastelands of the Great White North. Yes,
the wilds.
Now
the wilds of Canada.
The fun thing is, like, by Kansas City standards, I'm very Canadian, but by Canadian standards, I'm a Michigander. Like, where I live, where I grew up, I can go out.
Is that what they call Michigan citizens?
Yes,
Michiganders?
You should know that. That totally should be something that you're up on.
Michiganders? I should know that people are called Michiganders.
Well, what do they call? What do they call Missourians?
Michigans?
Missourians.
Missourians, not Missourianders.
Do you guys know what they call Phoenix Arizonians?
Arizonians.
Phoenicians?
No, Phoenicians.
Really?
Yes. That's a good one.
Phoenicia, isn't that like an old world? Phoenicians were like an actual civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Phoenicians.
I know, that's, like,
Michiganders,
cool.
though.
Well, I didn't come up with Michiganders.
Yeah, Michiganders.
But that is legit. That's 100%
Michigander
legit.
sounds like a flock of geese.
Ask Tim Allen. He will back me up on this. But like where I live.
I'm not saying you're making anything up. It's the first time I've ever heard that word. So those are my thoughts.
Fair enough. Where I live, I'm about 30 feet from the Detroit border. Like I look out on the Detroit River where I live.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And where I live, it's a little tract of land that's basically wedged in between a whole bunch of states. Like the bottom of Ontario has Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Like it's all just Great Lakes and us.
It kind of like loops down.
Yeah. So the only stations, like once we actually got a decent antenna and I could start absorbing media and like catching up on pop culture as a teenager and starting to watch SNL as soon as, I could tune that thing in. It was all Detroit locals. So like I consider myself more of a Midwest person than a Canadian person, if that makes any sense. I have a bit of a schizophrenic, weird take on, where I'm from and the values that I got. Fine. But I grew up on the same Detroit locals that, probably would have traveled almost to where you guys are at. We're not, geographically, our cultures are not that far apart.
Eminem, you and Eminem were listening to the same beats.
It's true,
bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you're me and
Kid Rock
as you are.
Yeah, Kid Rock.
OG,
Eminem.
Absolutely.
OG SNL podcaster, throwing it down because he was a Michigander at heart.
That's my story.
Now, John, I have to ask,
your story.
Have you gotten to show any of your three wonderful kids Return of the Jedi yet?
Not Return of the Jedi, because it like the Murder Bears are all great. Like we can watch the Ewoks, but there's still just some stuff in there. Like the Emperor can still he could hit a little hard for some little girls.
How old are they?
Well, my oldest just turned 8. My youngest is 3. So
okay,
yeah,
my oldest is getting into that range. She's seen the majority of The Force Awakens because BB-8 is a crowd pleaser. So
okay, right.
Aside from like Kylo Ren mowing down a few people, she's gotten a taste of Star Wars. We've watched the animated stuff. She's seen it. She just hasn't. We haven't done the trilogy proper yet because I also don't want to give away the big plot twist.
I am your father.
So when we do it, we're going to do it. And I'm going to make sure that it's a memory that sticks for them. But it's coming up soon. I think my oldest is just about ready.
That'll be so exciting.
It'll be so much fun. So much fun, especially at the end of Empire. I want to be recording that and see just how it hits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like
right?
What? No, it's going to be good. It's because that is part of pop culture and it's not a secret anymore. It's so rare to be able to like stage manage that and give someone that experience where they don't know the reveal going into it. So I've been keeping my kids very pure in that respect.
Did you ever see the it was a newspaper article. I might have this right. I think I have this right. Where Alex Guinness like spoiled.
He did it in some TV interviews in Britain. Yeah, he didn't care about
too.
Yeah, he did not care about
he did not give a fuck, right? But that it's in print. It's at least in print. I've never seen the videos. So those might just
they're
be
on
lost
YouTube. They're little like 3-minute clips on YouTube. Yeah.
They're great. Okay, cool. But yeah, he just like spoiled the big surprise. And he gets cut, obviously everybody knows he gets cut down in Empire. So yeah, I mean it's like I don't know. I just had to add that. I just had to add, the because you mentioned the secret and
well, spoiler alerts weren't really a thing. Like I don't think it occurred to actors back then that you had to be on guard for that.
But George was like, hey, Alex, Sir Alec, would you mind not just kind of keep it under wraps?
Right.
I that had to be something, or maybe he was just he just didn't expect Alec to do that because it's like hey, motherfucker, you've been working in movies for like the
You should
past
know
50
better, right?
years.
You know what a press junket
You should
is,
know
yeah.
better than to like spoil the
Right.
surprise of the movie, you know? Like, I have to tell these youngins, I don't, Harrison, he's good. Mark,
Carrie's got a big mouth.
Carrie, I definitely got to keep Carrie,
Yes.
Yeah, I have to make sure that there's just a handler with Carrie because she's come to the set a couple times.
She's a wild card. Yeah.
I don't know what she's on. Yeah.
Well,
we know what she is on.
I love all those. Yeah, we do. She's because she told us.
Yeah.
But I love all those memories, John. Heidi, you were about to say something.
I was just gonna say, this was such a sweet where we were when pick, in my opinion.
Yes.
It gave like a great picture of just a child's like first like movie going experience, really, and one that was so memorable and such an epic movie that like even though like I said I have such different memories around it and saw it at such different times. I mean, obviously, Star Wars has loomed over all of us in some sort of way. I'm married to a man that like could not love it more. So that was a very fun pick. But of course, as you know, we like to bring it to modern times at the end of the show. With our That's So Raven segment. So John, what are you into these days? What can you not get enough of?
My That's So Raven is Paw Patrol the movie. The big screen
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Now,
I thought you said Paw Patrol. Like
no,
Papa.
not
it sounded like Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
That was the Canada coming out. But it's Paw Patrol.
It's these little puppies, little computer animated puppies. But more specifically, my That's So Raven is getting to take my 3 children to an actual legit ass cinema to see a movie for the first time since I saw Rise of Skywalker with you, Justin, pre-COVID.
Whoa!
This is the span. It's been a 2-year span, and it was nice to get back to the theater. And,
did you guys get concessions?
Oh yeah. Oh, we got all the concessions.
Oh, come on.
Okay, all of them.
He's not a monster.
We got the M&Ms. We got the M&Ms. We got the Fuzzy Peaches. We got the Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
We got the Gummy Bears.
Yes,
we got all the candies.
Dad.
We got all the candies. And as much buttery popcorn as I could hand out, because if we're gonna do this, we're gonna blow it out.
If you're gonna do it.
So yeah, we were stupid with candy.
Yeah.
And those kids got sugared up. They enjoyed the hell out of that movie. And they've just been reveling in it ever since. It was a huge highlight after such a boring couple of years of being cooped up and locked down and all that.
God, I can imagine as a child.
I love that.
It's insane.
Because they need their movie-going experiences. We're talking about what that means at that age.
Yes.
I needed to see that happen. And
it ignites your creativity, right? It ignites your creativity. Now, John, you mentioned a seminal movie-going experience that you had with me.
Yes, life-changing in a totally different way.
That's right. And I want to make sure that we like just cover that a teeny little bit because I have a confession. So the last time we were in New York and
this was Eddie Murphy.
Either standing in that line.
Yeah.
This was Eddie Murphy.
This was the day before we got in the line for Eddie Murphy.
That's right. Day before we got in line, Eddie Murphy. And for whatever reason, we decided that we would go see, what time was it?
It was like the 1 a.m. because what we did, we went down to the Village and we went to the Comedy Cellar. And then we went, we went and we saw the Belushi off-Broadway.
The Belushi off-Broadway.
Yes, with a little help from my friends, it was called.
With a little help from my friends, the guy playing Dan Aykroyd was dynamite. Absolutely dynamite.
Keith Saltajonas, I believe is his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll take your word for it. Then we went and we saw Rise of Skywalker at 1 a.m., 1:30, something
it was
like that.
The 1 a.m. show. We didn't get out till about 3 a.m. Yes.
It was late. And so we get out of that, and clearly Rise of Skywalker is like, oof.
Not so good, Al.
But but right out of the gate, like I was a stan. You know, I was just like very much defending Rise of Skywalker, and I I could just feel John just like sort of like, you know, kind of like, what the fuck is this guy talking about, you know? But it was 4 a.m, and I think that I was just like hallucinating that was a good movie. And you were very polite, as all Canadians are.
Yep. It's in our constitution.
But I
no
just
choice.
yeah, but I just wanted to make sure that we covered off because we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I got to call myself out for. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was fascinating because we had such different takes initially. We walk out and I'm expecting like, he's gonna start unloading and we're just gonna just rapid fire. What? Yeah, like what was this? And you come in, you're like, it's pretty solid. Not a shabby Star Wars movie. And like you said, this is Justin Gardner. I respect his opinion. He did me a solid a few months previous. I'm not gonna like
right.
Give him
Just because I did you a
Smackdown.
solid doesn't mean you should you can smack me down. But like still,
But
we exchanged more opinions and more things about media,
Yes.
right? And so like I'd built up some credibility with you at that point. It wasn't just
Justin
because
is a legit ass cinephile, and I thought, you know what, like, and maybe I'm missing something. Like, I know I'm tired. I know that I was in the wrong mood for this, and that movie just moved too quick. Like, maybe I need to.
And I
watch
probably tried to. I probably tried to convince you of that too. I probably was like, no, it's late.
No,
you know. But I just wanted to just publicly say you were right.
Yeah, not a great.
You were right because I have seen that again, and I just was like, what was I thinking? I mean, so much. There's so much about that movie that just does not work.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to apologize publicly.
We've never talked about it. I've never brought it up because I thought if there's anything that could end our friendship, that might be it. And so I've just always
that would be it.
I've just always ate
that would be it.
Yeah, I've held it back, and that really means a lot, actually. Like that we can just clear the air and move forward. Because
you're welcome.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's been difficult. It's been difficult a couple of years. Yeah.
Good.
No, that's
I would reach out to you and you were like, do I want to do this fucking podcast? Because like Rise of Skywalker, I mean, he was just, it's like, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I can be friends with someone that has those kind of views.
As long as they're not going to talk about Star Wars. Jesus.
You know how like politics is divisive? That has the same reaction on me as like maybe someone that's really politically active, hearing like the polar opposite from someone like it was tough. It was really hard for me to overcome that and continue to, soldier on with our friendship. Right. But I'm so glad that I did, because here we are.
It's good.
Having a good time.
Here we are.
Star Wars.
Here we are. And we're talking Star Wars. We're talking about things that we love right now. Heidi, what is your That's So Raven for this week?
Well, my That's So Raven, it can't be denied. It's been with me the whole show. It represented the Ewok tonight. It's my kitty cat, Tweaky.
The kitty.
And
Tweaks. Did you see that? She just meowed right on camera. Her eyes lit up.
She's ready for her close-up.
They lit up from the light, and she goes, amazing. Amazing stage presence.
Yes, she's incredible. She's actually like, this is like her, at this point, like 10th time on camera.
She loves it.
I did, I got to be, it was like an at-home interview on Conan last year, and Tweaky like hopped up on my lap during it. She was, and I was about to be like, oh God, get her out of here. But she kind of like just acted like a service kitty. Like I was less nervous because I could pet her. And lately Tweaky has been, it's been kind of sad. She's been losing her eyesight. She has had a condition like a degenerative eye disease since she was a baby Tweaky. And it's just been a gradual process. But in the last year, it's been definitely like, you can really tell that she can't get around as well. She gets a little more confused. And it was something that was a little hard for me to even admit for a while, because I don't have kids. These are my kids, my cats. And I don't want them to ever like fear anything or not feel safe, or I want to give them the best kitty lives possible. But I will say, once I started reading about cats that are blind and that can still thrive, it's been such a big deal to me to like set up our apartment like in a way that can make her feel safe, not move things around too much because she has it memorized. And what's
Mhm.
also really cool is I know she's a cat, but she's been really inspiring to me when I see her still like feel around and like jump onto something high or jump off of something, like take a leap. Like I'll oftentimes try to, if she's on our dresser, like across from the bed, I'll try to like make sounds so she knows like how far away I am and that if she jumps to me, she'll be safe. But I just can't help but think like that's a big deal. She can't really see where she's going and she takes the leap. And like that's super inspiring. I'm super inspired by my
Yeah.
cat.
Mhm.
It's really beautiful. So
She still has a
Tweaky's
zeal
my
for life.
yeah, she really
Yeah.
does.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, so I just wanted to give her some props and she's my That's So Raven, my Tweaky.
She's internet famous.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
she is internet famous at this point. She's Conan famous too.
Conan famous. So, Justin, I know you have to follow that up. I can't imagine you're going to have something that cute and that dear, but maybe you will for your That's So Raven. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna have something as cute as that, but I am gonna take the leap. Because we've um, what we can't lose sight of, actually, it's a good segue, is that, in this world of ours right now, there's a lot of tumult and there's a lot of uncertainty. And so for me, what's that so Raven this week is emergency food supply. For this
What?
this is Apocalypse Farms. And
Is that
this
one
is
of
a
those like Jim Baker food buckets?
it might be affiliated with Jim. I'm not quite sure. But
Okay,
this
this
is a
show, by the way, is not affiliated with Jim Baker. I'd just like to say that.
no, no, not at all, not at all. But this 48-hour emergency food supply. I mean, you've got pancakes, you've got macaroni and cheese, maple brown sugar oatmeal, creamy potato soup. It's a 4-person kit for 48 hours. This would last me probably about 12 hours though. Um, you
So you
need
haven't even eaten it? You've not, this is your That's So Raven, but you haven't tried it?
uh well, not this variety. I have eaten I know I've eaten buttermilk pancakes. I've
You've eaten
eaten
buttermilk
macaroni and
pancakes out
cheese.
of a or not a butt cake, a bucket before?
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. I think that our viewers would be interested in making sure that they're safe and their family's safe and they have a food supply in case anything goes wrong.
This sounds like a
So
commercial. Please
well,
tell
I
me
mean,
this
like,
isn't a
where did
commercial.
where did you come across these, Justin?
I came across them in where people come across, such things. There's various websites and podcast. Well, okay, like listen, I listen to Joe Rogan podcast. Okay, my dirty little secret. And there was the guy from Apocalypse Farms was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about these meal kits.
Cool.
And so I got in contact with him and he shipped me this. And if our viewers want to take advantage of 10% off, you just go to
The Butterfinger deal fell through.
apocalypsefarms.net
Mm.
and enter the promo code Heidi's Choice, and
Whoa!
you get 10% off.
No, 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 no.
That's quite the endorsement, Heidi.
No.
Yeah.
There is no, there is no endorsement from me. You gave them, or you said you signed off on a code.
No, I'm not saying
Heidi's
it's no. I'm not
Choice?
saying it's. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's your choice. I'm saying that the promo code is to get 10% off of Apocalypse Farms 48-hour, or there's a 48-hour, there's a 72-hour, and then it goes directly to 48 days, which is a subscription service.
No, and I'm saying
you can get 5% off the subscription service with the promo code Heidi's Choice.
No, don't ever put that code into a computer. No percents off.
Well, I mean,
never
if you want 5% off of a 48
never
day
use my name ever with emergency
of pancakes
buckets ever.
and
We'll be
macaroni and cheese.
this is actually going to be our last where we were when ever if my name is still a code. So we're going to shut that down right now.
I can get the code changed. Well, listen, let's shut it down. But I think that this is like a great That's So Raven, because I'm really into, making sure that like me and my family are, I've got a dog at home. I've got a beautiful partner at home. And we want to make sure that, we've got food to eat just in case something were to happen.
Well, you'll never be using my name as a discount code to eat that food for you and your dog and your beautiful partner. So,
well, I did. I already did. I mean, like that was how we kind of tested out the discount code. So I got that for 10% off. But yeah, listen, going forward, we can just leave your name out of it. But I think what we should do now, I mean, what's a great segue? It's like, Catherine, cue the graphics. That's right.
Oh.
It's another it's another installment of Justin's Corner.
Another wild choice by my brother. And also, I got to say, production. Catherine, I feel like I really like you. I feel a little betrayed right now because I think Catherine can tell I'm not a big fan of this segment. And I know that Catherine made this graphic.
She made the graphic. A lot of people, what people don't know is
he said that you signed off on all of this.
All of it. Yeah, all of it.
John, if you don't ever see me actually sign off on an email, like I reply, please don't ever listen to him.
We spent 60 hours doing the promo package for it.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah,
is,
60 hours on
this
that?
Is going to be.
I mean, no offense, but that.
Justin said the budget
this is going to be its own show.
He said
this is going to be its own show. Yeah, this is going to be its own show, right? So I'm just like,
Then have your own show. Please don't do it on my show, on our show.
Well,
he said that Butterfinger endorsement was going to cover all of this.
Yeah, and this Apocalypse Farms. So.
No, we're not doing this. We can do anything else. I don't want to do Justin's Corner. You can do, now that you have a graphic, take it to another
But what
network.
are we another network? What YouTube network? Come on, like we're not on a network. I'm going to take it directly to YouTube. No, I mean, so if you don't listen, clearly you're not okay with me doing like having these amazing brands like Butterfinger Bites and Apocalypse Farms. Clearly you're not okay with that.
Justin, wait. Sketch, because I can tell that that's what you want to do. I'm in a horrible position right here now that I either have to listen to you talk about politics and uncomfortable situations, or pitch me a sketch. Just pitch me a sketch.
So wait. I just want to make sure that we're clear. Okay. Going forward, what would you like the last segment to be? What would you like the last segment to be?
You win. You win, big brother. I would love for the last segment to be you pitching me a sketch.
Wait. I'm sorry. Could you just say that one more time?
I'm going to say it one more time. And then if you ask me to say it one more time, I'm like, again, this is the last episode of this podcast. The last segment is you pitching me a sketch. So you've got like max 12 seconds to do it. Go.
Catherine, cue the graphics.
Oh my God, Catherine. What do you guys, is he like paying you on the side? Some like smog
He said you were good
food?
for it.
That's yeah, absolutely. So listen, here's the deal. Like I'm going to give you a freebie tonight. But no more Justin's Corner, no more endorsements. I'm just going to pitch you a sketch going forward. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. We're back on. Thank you, Butterfinger. Thank you, Apocalypse Farms. Thank you, Catherine. It worked.
Thank you, John, most of all, for being our guest tonight. Thank you for your wonderful work on this show. Thank you for always taking care of us. And please thank your kids for their amazing art. It added so much.
You guys show off your fur babies all the time. Can I bring them internet famous?
Yes.
Bring them.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh my
do it.
God.
Yeah.
Mama, are the kids still awake? Yeah. Send them out.
Sweet.
Send them out.
So you said fur babies, and I was expecting pets, but yeah, like let's see actual children.
What if they're dressed as Ewoks? What if they are Ewoks?
That would be amazing. That would be
know.
amazing foresight.
Well, I don't mean to disappoint. They're just adorable children.
Hey!
Maybe the most adorable of all the children ever.
So hi, what's your name?
You can. They can't hear you. So
yeah,
so,
we'll tell her.
I'll just talk for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They Heidi just asked what your name is.
Amelia.
Talking to the mic. Yes, Amelia is what we call
this
Amelia.
one.
This is my oldest. She just turned 8.
Sweet.
Hi, Amelia.
And we have a couple others around here somewhere. Here, you come. You try not to hit the mic, but you come on over here. All right. Okay.
Would you ask Amelia who her favorite Paw Patrol dog is?
So Amelia, Heidi would like to know, who is your favorite member of the Paw Patrol? Sky. Yeah. So Sky is the main girl Paw Patrol. She's got a helicopter / Airstream. Now this one is my second oldest. We call her.
She's a little low. She's a little low.
Come on up here. Come on up here and talk into the mic. So who are you?
Daphne.
Daphne.
What a cute name.
We thought so. So Daphne, who is your favorite member of the Paw Patrol? Chase. He's the police dog.
Chase is
all right.
Yes, he's the one I've
dog.
heard a lot about.
Yeah. He has a very compelling story arc in the Paw Patrol movie. They really
get
to the bottom of his character. So Chase.
That's great.
That's
great.
I have one more, but he's a bit of a wild card.
3-year-old?
There's any
The 3-year-old?
3-year-old. And if there's any that could be likened to an Ewok, it would be this little doodle right here.
Oh
my goodness. Yeah, we're not. He wants to turn the rainbow light on the ring light. Benji. This is Benjamin, my youngest. Who is your favorite member of the Paw Patrol?
I play Paw Patrol.
He likes Rubble. Rubble is the bulldozer bulldog.
Of course. Of course. That's amazing that they all like different Paw Patrol characters. That means that like they're not, they're going to have their own toys, right? They're going to have their own special toys.
They've got the vehicles. I think they have all of. Yeah, no, we got our Paw Patrol.
They're stocked.
Yeah,
they're stocked.
We're good. Okay, so that little guy is not feeling photogenic, but these two
That's
are
okay.
Benji's
he is photogenic.
Daphne,
and he's got
Amelia.
an amazing.
All right, so that's I don't know how you're gonna end a show better than that.
We're not.
It's going to be impossible.
It's
going to be impossible, and that's okay.
A huge surprise, a huge treat. Thank you so much for sharing your little Ewoks with us.
Oh, and guys, they loved your pictures. We talked about your pictures, so they went over marvelously. Okay, there, my girls are internet famous. That's it. I think we've peaked as a family. I don't think it's going to get better than this.
Oh,
that's amazing.
All right, head on back over to Mama.
Oh,
there we go. All righty. Okay, everything's falling apart here. Let's bring this one home, Heidi.
All right, get those kids to bed. You have a good night's sleep, John, and to your wife too. Justin, we're gonna talk later about you.
We'll talk.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Where We Were When, and we'll be talking to you soon and eating more candy as well. So tune in. Thanks, guys. Good night. Jelani's a pro. Jelani's a producer. He's an associate producer for the Vox Media Podcast Network. He loves pop culture, hip hop, sneakers, comedy, anime, cartoons, which Justin, we love all of that stuff. And he also does small comedy videos on the side on Instagram and TikTok. He's very funny. He's Jelani Carter. Hi, Jelani.
Hey, guys. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Justin. How are you?